Are you the type of person who loves to break stuff? But, you know, breaking stuff comes with consequences, so you can't actually do that. What if I told you that you can in fact break stuff, and get paid for it? Well, I mean, yeah, it's a real job and all, but you can still do that here though in Deconstruction Simulator. It's kind of like Reverse House Flipper if you've ever played that game, but basically it's a business simulator except for a one-person deconstruction company. There's no real story, so let's get right into the game. So this is our company, Wrecking Inc. You can actually kind of customize the logo, and you can have whatever name you want. I just picked something generic. This is the computer where we go through everything. We'll get to it in a second. And an actual warehouse where we keep some of the stuff that we've salvaged. So for example, here's a bunch of drywall in different sizes, as you can see here, 280. And some 2x4s, also in different sizes. There's actually two sections of this, one over here and one over here, where we have our long pieces. We've also got these doors, which have different qualities. So here's this the scanner, which we can look at individual things and see how much they're actually worth. See, it says here on the little display there, it's a rare door, and it's for sale for $100. Here's where we keep a bunch of windows. You know, most of them are just common windows. We're going to need to grab some medium windows and maybe small windows too. And here's some room for a bunch of appliances and furniture that we've salvaged, and some buildable furniture, you know, like shelves. This section is where we put our recycling at the end of the day. This kind of gets us a little bit of cash. So this is the van you get when you first start the game. It's a smaller van. So if you open it up, we can fit some things in this. So, you know, imagine that it's filled to the brim with all these recycling goods, and we've got to, you know, bring all this stuff in. You can see that, you know, a van this size is going to take us multiple trips to go back and forth from the job site to get all this stuff. And here is the next upgrade for the van, which I actually realized I don't know why I'm holding the scanner, so let's put that away. But yeah, this is a step up. As you can see, it's much taller than the other one. It has a lot more room. The only thing I do wish is that this door was on this side of the van as well. That's pretty much the warehouse. We can upgrade this. Here, let's actually look at the computer. So here's contracts, which we get to pick whichever one we want to get into. So let's pick one of these contracts, like this one, bedroom business. What they want is for us to take or destroy the bed, you know, the take or destroy office chair, basically take a bunch of stuff. And they also want us to move this furniture over from one part of the room to another part of the room. It's pretty easy, $225. That's not really enough for us, but that's pretty much what a lot of the jobs are. Some of these will be for example, to demolish the house entirely. And so that means anything that's in there, we can just salvage. So for example, if one of his couches was in there, we can grab it, put it in the van, and take it back here, which we can sell. And those people are here in orders. So for example, this order 85135. And here's where this order, this person wants these items from this order, which we have all of the items we need. But I don't want to sell it to them because it's only $99 for a common TV and a premium item. That's not going to happen. We're not going to sell a premium item to a necessarily poor client. Sorry. So for example, this premium chair here, you'll see it's $60 worth for this. If it was a common client, it's probably going to be more like $70. That premium chair is also over here, and it's actually worth $200. So we could get more for it if we wait for a better buyer. Okay, so back to the computer. We've got the stock status, which is just the stuff that we have in our warehouse currently. So you can see we've got a lot of stuff here. A rare toilet, for example. A premium toilet. It just kind of quantifies what we have in storage. The next tab over is the tool store, where basically we just spend money to upgrade our tools, and it just makes the jobs that much faster. Level up is $1,500, which we could get, but we don't really need to at this time. Here's a flathead, a saw. This is for cutting down lumber. Here's our crowbar and a chisel, which is what we use primarily for disassembling furniture for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. You'll see. We can also expand our warehouse, which we can do right now. It'll only cost $3,000, and we've got the budget to do it. So let's go ahead and upgrade. Yes, I want to buy. We'll go look at what's changed in a second, but for now, let's go to the garage. Okay, and we can buy a second parking slot, but we don't really need a second one. Not yet, anyways. The final tab is permits. This is basically progression for the game. So we started out with construction permit number 1, and then obviously we've been going up and up and up. Each one has these requirements of how many contracts we need to complete, and then we need to actually purchase the permit itself. But basically the tiers open up different contract levels. So here we have the own permit tier 3, and here this requires a tier 4 for some reason, even though it's only 220. This one's a tier 3. This one's also a tier 3, and this one's a tier 1. Since it's late in the day, we don't really want to get into a job because that just wastes fuel. It could cost money for us to drive our van to and from any work site, and so doing that too often will eventually drain us. So instead, let's buy a few of these bins because we're going to need these, and let's also buy these brick pallets. We're almost full, so we only need 4 at the maximum. Since we increased the size of our warehouse, let's take a quick look, and it looks like it just added another wing. This is what we had originally, and then buying the second bit of the warehouse expanded over here. So let's go back to the computer real quick and go to the warehouse tab, and yeah, so here's the edit mode. I haven't actually done this yet, so this is going to be new for me. I suppose we can buy a bunch of different things. What we should do is move a bunch of this stuff. So let's take this and put this. I was hoping it would snap, but that's okay. We're probably going to need a second door storage. So let's see. I think it's this. Yeah, door storage. Yep. Cool. That's pretty intuitive, actually. So I like that. The windows, we don't really get a lot of windows to begin with, so I don't think we need a second one. Now let's see, I definitely want at least one more of these, because these buildable furnitures are probably the most common things out there. Let's see, where can we get that? We don't need that. This one? Yeah. I do want to put a bunch of these pallets down for more of these appliances. So let's get, see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 12? Is there like a faster way to do this? I suppose we could also get a second one of these. Actually, let's move these over here to the corner. Is that a good idea? That's really far. I'm concerned that it's too far because these brick pallets can get heavy. Maybe we should swap these two. Let's do that. I'd rather the brick pallets go here. I think this is a much better layout, and that leaves us a big open space for whatever we want to do in the future. Okay, and the warehouse looks a lot cleaner, a lot larger for sure. This is going to be the biggest thing that we've done so far. I'm thinking about actually putting another one, but we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, there's an upstairs too. I didn't even notice that. We'll probably get to unlock that at some point in the future. Oop. So as you can see, once it hits 6 p.m., it just automatically stops you. You can't do anything. You can't pick anything up. You can't... It just says, done. It kind of sucks. I can't go into overtime because I'd prefer to do that. But that's okay. We can just end the day. And so here's our end of day notice. So here's all that recycling, all that you saw there on the floor. It amounted to $500, which is not bad. It basically paid for gasoline and rent. So we always want to make sure that we're recycling a bunch of stuff. Here's the invoice I did for the previous contract, and I earned $1,700, which isn't a bad day. So today, let's start off. We pretty much start off where we stopped from last time, so it's very easy. It starts off at 7:30. Let's get this bread, as they say. Ooh, $1,000 contract. It's tier 4. Oh, why? This one looks good. Waste of space, common client, 5 days, $960. My house is cramped. I'm sick of it. My husband's sick of it. Our girlfriend is sick of it. I beg you, do something about it. Yeah, that's doable. 180 kilometers, though, is kind of far. Want to retrieve a bunch of stuff. Then we gotta demo the house. Okay, sure, let's do it. Okay, first thing we want is to grab these guys. We could grab maybe one of these, but right now it's not necessary. Okay, let's go off to our clients. Alright, here's our house. Or here's the client's house, I should say. Here's their truck. Since this is a demo, we can pretty much take whatever we want. And that's what these bins are for. This is for storing any of the more valuable things. So for example, this deer here. Ooh, premium armchairs. That's going to be nice. 375 each. We are definitely grabbing those. So yeah, it's good to have the scanner out because we're going to see how much all this stuff is worth. The wardrobe itself is $150, which, yeah, it takes time to dismantle, but I don't know, is that worth it? Display cabinet might be worth it. Photo camera. 22 bucks for a camera? I don't think so. Okay, first let's retrieve the stuff we need to retrieve so we don't get too greedy and start grabbing stuff. Bling. And the next is a fridge. We should probably put this out here first because the fridge is going to be larger. Yep, that's the one. Uh-oh. Oh man, we broke something. So a lot of this game is Tetris with the vans because you want to stuff it as full as possible, and that means rotating and sliding it and doing all kinds of stuff to get as much as you can fit in this little space. And it is so nice to do. Anything else they need? Nope, we just need to demolish and take whatever we want. Now we can be greedy. Let's put this down and just start grabbing stuff. The pictures are always usually pretty good. You'll start recognizing certain loot when you see them. Like there's like a little hippo. That guy, hippo figure. $40 for a hippo figure? Yeah. Grab that. And we're gonna put that right in this box. Let's grab this suitcase too. That's worth quite a bit. Oh, and there's stuff in the drawers. So don't forget to look in the drawers. So super greed, we're going to want these armchairs. These guys are expansive. We should be able to stack them on top of each other. We'll see. Nope, guess not. Let's finish this up. Let's grab these shoes, maybe? This TV. This TV needs to go. I mean, who just leaves their TV? It's our TV now. That painting for sure. Okay, that one's nice and full. Let's put them in the van. May as well clear out this entire thing right here. Wait, why are the shadows all jagged? I wonder why it's doing that. I didn't notice that before. Maybe it's something I did in settings? Okay, so now the shadows are better. It was because I set my graphics to epic for the recording, and it gave it the jagged shadows. And setting it back down to high settings made the shadows smoother. I don't understand. $25 knife block. We are going to grab that. Bunch of books. Let's grab these. We basically get the gist of what we're doing here. We're just grabbing the most valuable stuff and putting them in boxes. I'm gonna skip all this. You know, you don't have to see me like shuffle through like, is this $5? $4? Which one do I get? Like, you don't need that. We'll come back once we get to the next stage. Alright, so we've got all 4 boxes pretty much filled up, so it's time to start picking the place apart. First we look at the doors. Rare door. I want to try and find some premium doors, which I don't think they have any. They're all rare doors. So it's only, we've got a ton of rare doors, so we don't have to grab any of these. We can actually just leave these to get demolished. Let's grab some windows. I like to look at them from the outside. So large, another large. We're gonna need mediums and smalls. There's a medium. let's grab this one. And to do that, we kind of mouse over the corner here, see like how they're highlighted. We mouse over to any of them, hold down the button, and just use tool. As you can see, I'm just holding on the button and moving the mouse around. It's phenomenally easy. The next is we gotta look at a wall. I need 90 centimeters, like this. So let's grab this bit of wall. So the warehouse is already filled up with 120s and 150s, I believe. We might actually need some 120s. I'm not positive. But for now, I want to find a 60 centimeters good, so let's grab that. I wish taking down drywall was that easy. I'm not a construction person. I did work construction very briefly. I was very bad at it. You can't just use a chisel to remove some drywall. That's fantasy. But it's a good one. It's a good one. Okay, let's look at the furniture that we want. Like you see these kitchen cabinets, they're all premium. $350 for this guy, $250 for that one. It's just we have got to save this because it is worth way too much. The junk that's in them, not so much. The stove, I suppose we could grab that. Wow, the table is premium. Chairs are common, though we do need common chairs. Like, although I'm targeting these premium items, and you should too, getting common stuff is also pretty good, because a lot of people just want something relatively common. Let's grab this water heater, because it's a relatively small item that we can sell for a good amount. Rotate this. Shove it here in the corner. Bloop. Okay, so let's start disassembling. And to start disassembling, we just, mouse over it, see the outline, and just left click. See, like when it highlights a certain piece like this, and we use our chisel to take it apart. Disassembly is pretty interesting. If you've played games like House Flipper, you're essentially doing this there in that game too, except most of the time you're assembling things rather than disassembling things. This is kind of meditative in this game. This is great to, after a long day of working, maybe an actual deconstruction job, to have a fantasy deconstruction job where everything's kind of easy. Oh no, it broke. Cool. Once we got that, we get this little box here, which is our little IKEA build furniture box thing that everyone knows. Do we want all of this? This is going to be a lot of dismantling. It's going to take us hours to get through this, but it's probably worth it. Let's do this table first. Actually, let's grab these chairs. The more premium items, premium and rare items, are actually harder to disassemble, which makes sense. And in the way that they're better made and are therefore more sturdy. And it makes a lot of sense for it to be that way. So I'm going to have to disassemble all this stuff, which is going to take quite a long time. I'm going to skip ahead, or maybe just, fast forward. Alright, this is pretty much all the stuff that I want to grab out of this house. So I think what we should do is now go back to the office and fulfill some orders. Alright, let's unload this stuff. Where did I? Oh yeah, over here. And putting these things is pretty easy. We, pick this thing up. When we hold the right mouse button down, it will auto snap, as you can see. Very, very nice. Feels very nice to do. We probably should have bought one more of these. Okay. We don't have room for this guy yet, so let's put him to the side. Keep in mind that if we end the day before putting this into storage, then we lose it. So we want to keep our eye on that. Okay, so this is now empty. What we should do is take this and just at least put it in the van, because that way it's saved. and we don't have to necessarily worry about making room. And let's do some orders so we can clear up some of our inventory. Let's see. Well, let's look at the wealthy clients first. He wants a TV and a rare door, which we can do easily. Let's actually accept this now. Sorry, I skipped through it really fast, but you basically get to pick which vehicle to rent in order to get them their things. So depending on what they want, you want to make sure that you get the right truck. He wants a TV and a door, both of which are pretty small. He wants a rare door. We got plenty of those. Oh, we only have rare doors. Okay. So to rotate items, at least the side that they rotate on, we hit R. So here it will rotate lengthwise. Here it will rotate horizontally. And the way it leans matters too, because that's the way it's going to fall. See in the upper left, it's turned green. That means we've got the right stuff. And we can send this order off. Complete the order. Final payment, 135 bucks. Done. Easy. We can't do this one. He wants a wash basin. See why I say sometimes it's good to also get the common stuff, because you'll have wealthy clients like this guy asking for a bunch of stuff, which we can't do because we just don't have it. I mean, we could go grab a wash basin and a pendant light, but we won't have a small window. Ooh, here we go. We can get rid of this small items box. So let's accept the order. Let's again select the small capacity because it's only one box. And let's go do that real quick. He wants box number 30, so that's this one specifically. There you go, buddy. Do that. Complete the order. $88. Done. And let's actually grab this box and put it up on the shelves. Let's go back to the site. Okay, we got back, and of course we gotta immediately end the day, which is totally fine. It means we're gonna start the day here at the job site. So, okay, start of the day. I think what I want to do first is load up the van. So let's put the drywall down first. So like I was saying earlier, this game is all about smart packing the vans. And so you can do things like flipping this one upside down and rotating it so that it fits Tetris style. Like I said, this is a very satisfying gameplay element. I just love doing this. I don't know why. Okay, that's a pretty good fit. Alright, let's get back to the rest of the house. We may as well grab everything that's loose and just pop it in here. It doesn't matter what they cost now. A buck is a buck. Yeah, otherwise I think we're pretty much ready for demolishing. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. This is my favorite bit. Probably the thing that you've all been waiting for too, is the demolishing of everything. Yeah, so we got our sledgehammer here, primed and ready. The first thing we're going to want to do is get rid of all this furniture. And the best way to do that is just start hitting. Oh, yes. So yeah, destruction's really meditative, like I said. I can imagine being in construction and just being so tired of the day that you just want to destroy everything. I decided not to take this down because it's just more fun that way. We got plenty of stuff anyways, so... I was going to say it's a purple door, we should save it, but too late for that. Okay, so let's grab a bunch of this garbage. We're going to need to start doing that anyways. This recycling thing is full. Let's put it over here. Okay, and that just leaves the internal walls. Let's do the internal walls first, and then we'll do the external, and then bring the whole thing down. Okay, I personally like starting at the bottom. I feel like that's just the most, where it makes the most sense. Then we gotta destroy these 2x4s. very carefully. Or not, we don't have to be careful, but you know what I mean. So bringing the support down brings the whole thing down. And that's why I do it from the bottom. Out of the way, drywall. So I love doing this. I love doing this. This is just amazing. Look at this. Just being able to break something is just... This is the best part of this game. 100%. Just sit here and smash away at the whole house. Like I keep saying, how cathartic this would be for an actual construction worker. Like if you have to build houses for a living, and you're just sick of it, you just want to be like, I want to destroy this fucking place. This is like the perfect game for that. Let's pick up all this trash. Just one of those games where like you just put the headphones on, like put your music on blast and just go. This is just so therapeutic in so many ways. Okay, so inner walls are done. Let's do the outer walls, which I prefer to do from the outside. And let's begin. Alright, that's the entire house demolished. Nice. I love seeing this. Look at this. Just this sheer, just destruction. Now we gotta pick it all up, unfortunately. Can't just leave this mess around. My frame rate dips a bit here and there. And I think it's because of all these different, like the game's rendering all these parts or pieces. Because like the GPU isn't getting maxed out necessarily. Maybe it's just the memory. I don't know. Still, you should keep in mind that it's not going to do great on all GPUs just because of all this. Okay, we're going to have a lot of lumber, which we're not going to need. So we might end up scrapping a bunch of it. And the mechanics of cleaning up is actually really simple. You know, we just equip the trash bag and hold down the button while we look around. There's absolutely nothing complicated about this, which is totally fine with me. Like I don't need this to be a minigame or anything. Okay, so we're gonna need to clean up all these floors. Before we can do that, we're gonna have to actually take care of all of these 2x4s. I think maybe the best way to do that is to just pick them up and sort them out. Let's try and pick up the longest ones first. Okay, I think that's all the long ones that we can find. Let's put this away. I want the really short ones. So for example, let's pick these two up. Yeah, I think these are the shortest ones. No, I don't want that one. Grab that one that was on the top and just pop it back down. We don't want them long guys. I think this should be plenty. The rest of this we can just scrap. Okay, the last little bit are the floors. You basically have to break everything. Okay, here we go. Last little bit, and then we're done. Okay, there we go. All cleaned up. Let's grab all this stuff. Let's actually move it over to this side so it's easier for us tomorrow. Or sorry, not tomorrow, but later, because we're going to have to go back to the office and unload the van so that we can put this scrap into it. Okay, last bag. Let's see. We got room for stuff, so let's actually put some things in here. The lumber, maybe? Kinda. That works. I think we're pretty much done though. Let's go back to the office and let's unload all this stuff. Okay, it's 2:48. I think that's plenty of time. Let's put this light stuff all the way over here. Putting away lumber like this is so satisfying because you just right click and off it goes. Since we got nowhere to put this, let's put him back in the van for now and then head back to the work site. Alright, let's move this guy into the corner here because we're going to need as much space as we can. It's getting super dark out here. Okay, we got a tiny bit of time left. Let's go back so that we start our day in the warehouse. So we're going to be forced to end the day today, but we'll be ready to unload the car. All we gotta do is unload, which you probably don't want to watch me do this. I don't know, maybe I'll fast forward this one too. Alright, so that's all of them up here. At least all of them that we've got so far. Let's go to the computer real quick and see if we can sell anything. Try and fulfill a couple orders. Quality clients, we can do that. So here's a client that wants a small items box 32. Let's grab this so we can make some room. 32. Enjoy your small items box 32. Okay, that means we can take this guy and put it up on the shelf. Boink. First thing we want to do is actually complete the contract. So we've got all this done. Everything's green. Complete. Send invoice. Alright, 100%. We got 5 stars. I'm definitely calling you again. Awesome. Okay. Done. It's still relatively early. It's only noon, so we could go and pick up another job, like a small one. You know, one that's like clean this up or something like that. I was hoping for something that's a lot quicker than a demolish, but that's all we've got right now. Accepto. We should rent the wrecking ball. Okay, so I fast forwarded through a bunch of stuff. I've basically scavenged through this house of everything that we want. Mostly some of the stuff that's been littering around in a couple of windows and some furniture, but that's not important. What's important is I rented the wrecking ball. So we should totally smash this thing to pieces. Oh, nice. S aim backwards, R aim up, F aim down, move left, move right. Okay, let's start here. Okay, and here we go. That's amazing. That's so satisfying. so good. So get this game. Get this. Because just for this. You can't deny yourself this. We got one last thing back there, the shower. Let's take the ball to it. Oh, it's too high. This should hit. Yeah. That's so good. So yeah, this is Deconstruction Simulator. Like I've been saying throughout this whole video, this entire game is very, very cathartic, especially if you're working a very high-stress job. Whether you're an office jockey, or if you're actually a construction worker, or if you just have to deal with a lot of customers. Like, this is the perfect after-work game, you know what I mean? Like, you get to break things, really? That's just the perfect way to de-stress. And you make money on top of it. It's the perfect escape. Like, escaping your high-stress job so you can do this instead. Honestly, it almost makes me want to be in deconstruction. That sounds like an awesome life, you know? Anyway, if you want to grab this game, and you totally should, I've left a link to the game's Steam store page down in the description. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.